Hey guys, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to tighten your underbust so your bustier comes out nice, okay, without being a corset. And also this beautiful neckline, this collar neckline with sweetheart details. If that's what you want to watch, then keep watching this video to the very end. Do not forget, this is Amen Clothing YouTube channel where we teach you how to use pattern drafting to create unlimited designs in tailoring. Let's head straight to it, guys. So you'll be needing your basic bodice front, and I just have the basic block, okay, with your side bust darts and your waist dart. So that's just your basic block. That's what you're going to be starting off with. So I'll go ahead to contour my underbust at the underbust line. Now to do this, I'm going to be starting from this particular dart leg, and I'll be marking ½ inch on both sides of the dart leg, okay? If you have a larger bust, you can mark 1 inch, okay? If your waist dart is 1 inch, you should mark 1 inch on both sides of your underbust. But because my waist dart is actually big, okay, so I'm going to be marking ½ inch on both sides. I hope that's understandable. So I haven't marked that very line. I'm going to be connecting it like so. From the bust point to the very underbust contour line and to the waistline. Same thing I'll go ahead to do on the other side. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do want to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon so you get notified when I post a new video. So I had to use my tape to cross-check this, and it was actually at 0.4 inches. I want to make sure it's at 0.5 so I get exactly what I want. I think the more you widen it, the more you tighten the underbust. Like I said, 1 inch if your waist dart is 1 inch. Okay? 1 inch if your waist dart is 1 inch. So I'm going ahead to draw it in now. 0.5 inches like so. And that's it. So the next thing we are going to be doing now, we'll be heading over to the next step of this very tutorial. So I'm heading over to the neckline now. And from this very part, I'm going to be marking 4 inches. From the tip of my neckline, I'm going ahead to mark 4 inches, okay? And I went ahead to divide this part by 2 and I marked it. But this isn't really necessary, okay? Just use the guideline from the tip of your neckline and draw a straight line down, okay? From that tip of a neckline, draw a straight line down. So having done that, using that 4-inch line, you're going to draw a line across like so. So after this, move over to the next thing we're going to do now. So I'm going to be drawing in my armhole princess seam line. I went ahead to draw in my armhole princess seam line, okay? If you have your French curve, you can use it to draw this so it comes out neat at once. But I'm using my hands to draw it without any ruler, so I'm trying to make sure that it is neat. So here is it. Okay, I'm gonna have to draw in my line for the armhole princess seam. So I attached the fresh pattern paper to the upper part of my bodice, okay, to the upper part of my base block because of that color. So now you're going to be measuring this very part of your back block, of your basic back block. And mine is 3.5 inches. So from the tip of your shoulder, like so, you go ahead to mark 3.5 inches. You go ahead to mark 3.5 inches, okay. So having marked it, you use a ruler to rule a line across like so. And also I'll be extending that line upwards. I'm going to extend this very particular line upwards like so. I extended more lines. Sorry, I attached more pattern paper because I need extra space at this side, the center front area okay, so I can draw in my collar properly. Now I'm going to be marking the width of my collar. I'm using 1.5 inches. That is okay, whether you're on a big size or you're a small size. 1.5 inches maximum, minimum of 1 inch, so it doesn't look so big and awkward. I'm now going to be styling this line to meet that point, okay? I'm going to be drawing a curved line to meet this very particular point from that line. And I'll go ahead to draw it out like so. So this is what it looks like, okay? This is what this very particular collar, neckline, whole thing looks like. So now let's head straight. Let's go back to our underbust tightening and all that. Firstly, I'll go ahead to open up my side bust dart. If you've been watching my tutorials on how to draft an armhole princess seam, you should know this by now. If you haven't seen any video on that in my channel, drop a comment in the comment section and I will drop a link to the video how to draft and sew a princess seam, okay, an armhole princess seam. So by the time I've opened this very side bust dart, I went ahead to cut open this very line here so I can create the armhole princess seam. And I flipped this around. Using my sellotape, I'm going to be taping, closing the side bust dart. So I've taped it down and then I'm going to be extending my underbust line because by the time I removed the side bust dart, the lines are going to be extending it. So I'm very sure that this is where my underbust falls into, okay? So I haven't done that. The next thing, I'll use my scissors to separate my underbust from this very particular pattern, okay? So that very small thing there, I'll be using my tape to hold it back. You don't want to lose any of your pattern, so you're in line with what you're doing. I'm going to have to separate it and we are going to be removing the darts, okay? We're going to be removing the darts and we'll be discarding this because we no longer need it. So now we're going to be taping this down. Using my sellotape, I'll go ahead to tape this down also. So having taped it down, I'll use my pen to through this very area that looks like one part of it is higher, like is longer than the other one, just a little. And I'll use my scissors to blend it, just a little, okay? As you can see, it's not much. It's just a little, and I'll use my scissors to blend it. I'll set that aside, okay? And then we'll work on this very one. So I'll start from here to open up the darts. Of course, we are going to be removing the darts. That's what I'm doing now. I'm removing the dart, okay? So here is it, okay? And this very part of the armhole princess seam that is pointed, the bust area that is pointed, we don't want that. So I'll be using my pen to blend in to give it that sort of a natural look. I'll be using my pen to blend it in, okay? Using my pen to blend it in. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to be blending more, just a little, not much. Blending just a little, okay? To give it that rounded, natural shape. And this is what it looks like, okay? So go ahead to work on this other pattern now, the neckline especially. Go ahead to work on the neckline now. Start removing the excess papers, which we will not be needing. so I can get that exact collar design. And firstly, I'm going ahead now to remove this particular area. Remember, this part is also part of our basic floor front block, okay? Remember, this part is part of the basic front block. The shoulder area, okay, is part of the collar neckline. So I've set it aside, and then we're to remove this part of the paper that we wouldn't be needing, okay, the excess paper. We'll go ahead to remove them so we'll know what we're doing and have a clear view of what we are doing, okay. So before you cut this part out, first you're going to be drawing in the sweetheart neckline. You're going to be drawing in the sweetheart neckline, do not forget. So using my tape, I came down by 4 inches. Please ignore that very first line. It was actually a mistake. Using my tape, I came down by 4 inches, and I'm going ahead now to draw in my sweetheart's neckline from this very point. Can you see that? From that very point, I'm going ahead to draw in my sweetheart neckline like so. Trying to make it visible because most of you complained about not seeing the markings on my pattern. So I'm trying to kind of make it visible so you guys can see it. I will start using a marker, okay? I'll start using a marker. So here is it now. This is our current neckline, and that's what we're going to be working with. So I'll go ahead now to remove it like so. And also remove the collar area. Sorry. So yeah, here are all the patterns, okay? I'll assemble it together so you guys can see. Here are all the patterns, okay? So here are all the patterns. You should have same thing if you're making yours, okay? And now let's head straight to the sewing part of it. I'm going to cut out all these patterns on fabric, okay? This is what they look like. I've cut out all my patterns on fabric, and here is what they look like. The center front unfold, and every other part 2 pieces, okay? So the first step here is that you want to open up the center front and sew that area of the side bust, of the side princess armholes. You guys, I'm sorry, I don't really know what I'm saying now. Please, you're going to be sewing the armhole princess in together first, okay? And I haven't done that. This is what we're having. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to attach the underbust corset to it. Sorry, did I say underbust corset? The underbust tightening. From the underbust to your waistline, you're going to be attaching it to it. This very piece now, you're going to be attaching it to this one, like so. I marked my notch of the center front, and I'm going to be joining it there like so, okay? So that's the next thing we're going to do. And having sewn that up, this is what it looks like, okay? The next thing now is to attach the shoulder panel so we can get our collar design. So I'm going to have to attach this shoulder panel like so, this shoulder pieces to them like so. You want to sew them in like so. Also be considerate, be careful to know which side is supposed to come into the center front and which side should go to the armhole area. So I'm going to be sewing this very particular part up now. And after that, this is what we're having. Next is to fix in our collar, okay? We're going to be sewing in our collar like so. I want to sew in from here and to this point, okay? So that is just it for this tutorial. We're going to be sewing it in like so, okay? You want to sew in from there. And don't forget that other part is where your shoulder for the back and the neckline of the back is going to join. So that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.